Hello everyone, welcome to the TSS. In this class we are going to discuss the characteristics of object oriented programming. Okay, so if a language is said to be object oriented program supported language, then that language should possess some of the OOP characteristics, some of the characteristics mentioned here. So that is, in this class we are going to discuss one of the characteristics of OOP inheritance. Generally, four important characteristics are there. So number one is inheritance, number two is encapsulation, number three is polymorphism, number four is abstraction, right? So in this class we are going to discuss the inheritance characteristic of JavaScript OOP. Okay, JavaScript OOP supports inheritance. Okay, the characteristics of inheritance JavaScript language supports. So let us see what this inheritance characteristic is. The name itself implies that inheritance means acquiring something from our parents or grandparents, right? Like that. Here also, similarly, here also, a program defined a class defined as a parent and a class defined as child, then the child class can inherit some of the properties from parent. Okay, bottom line is this. Anyway, I will explain that in detailedly with an example also. Let me complete the theory part first. Inheritance allows us to define a class that inherits all the methods and properties from another class. Okay, basically two classes will be there. One is parent class and another is child class. So let me define what is parent class and child class. Parent class is the class being inherited from, also called, it is also called base class. Okay, the parent class is also called base class, and from this it acts as a source. Okay, it acts as a source to other classes, right? And then the child class is the class that inherits from another class. It is also called as derived class. Child class is another name of child class is derived class. Okay, so parent class or child class, and the synonyms for these two is base class and derived class. Okay, with any name you call, the internal meaning is the same, friends. Okay, so inheritance and the relevant is parent class and child class. If you talk with these two words, then it is relevant. Okay, so this child class will inherit the properties and methods of class which is defined as parent class. Okay, so let us take an example. The syntax I had mentioned here. So you had defined one class called parent. So the name of the class, for relevant example demonstration purpose, I take it that class name as parent itself, class parent, and these class have its own properties and methods. Okay, what is properties? Variables and their values. Okay, methods means functions. Okay, so this parent has their own, its own properties and methods. Okay, this is one class. Now you are defining another class called child class, and you should put extends. This keyword should be used, right? This keyword should be used. Let me highlight this one so that it will be visible. Okay, now so I am defining one more class, declaring one more class called child. So the child has its own properties, and if I want to acquire some of the properties and methods of parent class, then I should take the inheritance from the parent class. So how to take the inheritance means simple. Class child, after that extends keyword should be used, then from which class I want inheritance, that should be mentioned. So I want inheritance from parent, so that's why I had declared the parent name of the class as parent here, and then I had defined the child properties and methods. So internally it is child properties and methods, but uh, it is visibly child properties and methods are visible to us, but uh, due to the usage of extends and parent, it will be inherited the properties and methods of parent internally. Okay, so that is not visible, but internally these parents and methods are available to the child also, and if you want to access, you can access from instantiating the child class itself. Okay, and then some other grandchildren will come. So then the grandchildren also, if he wants to acquire some of the properties of his parent, and which in turn he is acquiring some of the properties from his parent, grandparent, then all these properties will come to the grandchildren. So it is simple like property divisions, friends. Okay, so if my grandfather has some 100 acres of land, and if my grandfather has given to my father, and my father has his own some say 50 acres of land, his own earned 50 acres of land, and 100 acres of land was acquired from my grandfather. So my father has total how much? 150 acres, in which hundreds 50 acres is only his property, his own hardened property, but 100 acres of land was acquired from my grandfather, because due to the inheritance he acquired that, right? And if I am there now, I earned say some 20 acres of land with my hard earned 20 acres of land, and so that is my 20 acres of land, it's my hard earned land. Okay, but due to the inheritance I will acquire my father land of 50 acres and my grandfather land of 100 acres also. Okay, it's like that. It is happened in our daily life also. So similarly in the programming language also, in the OOP programming characteristics, inheritance is there. So that concept will be implemented like that. Okay, now I will explain with an example. So if I take the same example I am stating here, class, and the name of the class is car. Okay, now so one method I am declaring, that is called action method, and the body of the method I just used only one single line of sentence, that is called return statement travel. Okay, so car is having only one method in its block, and then I am defining another class called RD. Okay, so RD has its own method called audio and return play music, but due to I used extend car, then what it will take, the RD will inherit from the car. Inherit means what? Inheritance. What inherit from car? Its methods and properties. Here we have action methods is declared. Now our RD car is now having its own method audio and inherited method action also available internally, but visually only one method is appearing, but due to the usage of extends car, so it will take inheritance from it internally, and this action method is also available virtually. Okay, and yet another class I defined like class Binge. So class Binge has its own property called video, and then the statement is return play video only. Okay, but due to the usage of extends RD, what will happen. So Binge is already having its own method defined, but due to the usage of extend RD, it will take inheritance from the class RD. So class RD has what now? Its own audio method, and then the inherited action method also. Two will be there. One is visible and one is internal. Action will be also there. These two, action method and audio method, will be virtually available here also, but it is not visible, but internally these two actions are also present here. Okay, so let us demonstrate it. Okay, let me go to the this file oops.js. Now I am deleting all the code. I am just copying this code here to save the time. Let me copy it. Okay, unwanted characters has come. Okay, and then okay, now the car is a class which I had defined, has its own method, right? And then RD extends car. So RD has taken inheritance from car, so that this method is available internal to it, in addition to its own method called audio. And Binge extend RD. Okay, so Binge has its own method called video. Okay, but internally it acquired inheritance of properties and methods of its parent class, that is called RD. RD has its own property and acquired property. These two properties will be available here internally, friends. Okay, so that is the concept. Okay, now where x, let me close bracket, close should be closed. Okay, now it was complete. Now okay, if I want to see, if I want to instantiate this Binge, okay, no, let me come from parent class. Okay, let me instantiate from let me create an object of car class first. Okay, the car class was instantiated into x variable, friends. Okay, now console.log of x dot action. Okay, I am instantiated the car class into x variable. Now I am accessing the property of the method of car class. Okay, like this, x dot action. Let me see what the output result is. What it is displaying. Sorry, I have to use new, because the Python, if anybody comes from Python, it is a Python syntax, so no need to use new. Okay, we need to use new to instantiate a car class to form an object, right? Okay, let me clear. Okay, now, so I had executed it, x dot action. This is the method that belongs to car only. Now if I instantiate the RD, okay, class RD. Now, so it has its own method audio, right? That is returns play music. but internally it acquires additional method of car also, because we have taken inheritance from car by using extends keyword. Okay, now let us rd, and then if I give audio method I am accessing, that audio method is its own. Okay, is rd own, right? Let us, here you can see play music, it is coming. Now if I use the action, that action is not visibly appearing here, but it is virtually belongs to rd also. Let us type action. Okay, action. So we are accessing action method by instantiating rd. Here you can see travel. Okay, so from here itself, by objectifying this rd, I actually accessed this method which is its own, and also the action method which is inherited from the car also, from this object itself. That is the concept, friends. And if you use Binge, and if I give the video, so video means its own method. Okay, let us clear it. Here plays video, right? And now if I give the audio, then also it will work, plays music, right? So what is this audio method? Audio method is not its Binge own method, but it is rd method, right? But due to the Binge takes inheritance from the rd, this method is also belongs to the Binge. That is the inheritance concept. And still if you use the action also, because we have taken inheritance, Binge is taken inheritance from rd, and which in turn rd is taken inheritance from class. So these two methods, action and audio method, is virtually available in the Binge, but visibly it is not appearing, but virtually it is there. New Binge action. Okay, let us execute it. Let us save this file, execute it. Here you can see travel also. So all it will be comes in the single object only. Okay, from the Binge object called X, we are accessing the audio and the action methods of its parent classes, right? So this is the concept of inheritance, friends. Okay, so in the next class we will discuss the another OOP characteristic called polymorphism. Okay, till then, bye bye. Yours Veera signing off. Thank you for listening.